Homes Sweet Homes is a delicious episode of Postcards from Buster. This one is basically all about food, primarily Cuban and a little bit of Greek food as well, and it definitely made me hungry. This is the 28th episode of the first season, and this is in Miami, Florida. And Buster is missing his mother, and it turns out that his mother has been tasked with writing the food column for the newspaper. And Buster sees this as a great opportunity for her to learn about Cuban food. And he meets a girl called Athena, and she's actually half Cuban and half Greek. So initially it's about the Cuban side of her family and the food there and plantains, and it made me want to try plantain. I've never had it, and I guess if anybody tries a new dish after watching this, job done. I probably will try plantain, although it says the best way to eat them is to fry them, and I don't have the ability to fry them. If anybody has any suggestions on how to eat them in any other way, please feel free to let me know. We don't learn that much about Cuban history as such, but although I suppose that's maybe a little bit heavy for Postcards from Buster, I guess. But we do meet this guy called Tony, who is painting the murals, and through his murals we get a little taste of what Cuba's like, and the paintings are gorgeous. They're really stunning. So we do get a little bit of Cuban style in there, but mostly it's about the food. We also learn that there are bilingual schools in the area, but Buster visits this school where they do half of the day in English and half of the day in Spanish, which I think is a really great way to learn another language. And having said that, the thought of it would have filled me with dread. But at the same time, if it meant that I would now be fluent in a second language, that would have been great. So I feel like that's a really great opportunity for the schools to present. The second half of the episode, or maybe the final third, Athena visits her father. I don't want this to come out the wrong way, but I'm really glad her parents are separated, because it's another episode that's got a slightly different family dynamic. A lot of the episodes up until this point have been your traditional, husband, wife, 2.5 children. There are a couple of exceptions, but generally a lot of them are like that. So when we have something that's a little bit different, but also something that many, many people experience, like separated parents, I think it provides an extra level of relatability. So I'm really glad that they incorporated that and kind of highlighted that fact. And Athena could talk quite naturally about that. And so could Buster, because as we know, Buster's parents are not together either. And I think that was something that would help to broaden its reach and make other people feel like they're being represented or can relate to the children in it. But what I was going to say is, when we go to Athena's father's house, we meet her grandmother there. That's her Greek heritage, and there's this delicious sounding dessert. I didn't write the name of it down, but it sounds amazing, but the savoury sounded even better. It was like parmesan and bechamel and beef, and it just sounded absolutely delicious. I don't cook, I can't cook, but that is a dish that I will be looking out for if I ever go to a Greek restaurant, because it just looked incredible. Really, definitely a mouth-watering episode. Yeah, I feel like we could have had a bit more variety in terms of seeing more of Miami. I don't really feel like I got a good sense of the area. We didn't really see that many street scenes or even that many buildings and much of the architecture. And I feel like, apart from the establishing shots where we obviously have the bright blue skies and the palm trees, I didn't really get a good sense of the area. But I did get a good sense that a lot of Cubans live in the area, which is always interesting to learn about. So it is a good episode. It's not the best episode of Postcards from Buster, but it's certainly a very delicious episode with a really nice narrative with his mother tying everything really nicely together. So I can't complain. It is one that I admittedly really enjoyed.